ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much for coming in, tuning in, showing some love. We have our guest today is Paragon NFT. Come in here, show some love. And what's going on? We're live, and right now we're going to be hosting Paragon NFT. So if you don't mind, tell us a little about yourself. When did you, think about getting into the NFT scene, and what got you started in crypto?
Hey man, thanks for having me on the podcast. Really excited to be here. Really excited to meet you guys as well. That being said, my name is Sean. I am the CEO as well as an artist at Paragon Art Studio, which is the NFT project I started. You might also know me as XSD. I go by SD a lot here in the community as well. How I got started in NFTs was actually pretty funny. I've actually been in crypto for a while. Now, I wasn't really into trading. It was more just like buying and selling long term. Like I bought at like 500 and sold at 1500, just so on. And then took a big break when it got to like the 20,000s and all that range. Been more into the alt stuff now and getting more back into the coins. But the NFTs I really did not have much experience with until the end of August was when I actually first got introduced into NFTs. And it was funny because it was during this period where I had just finished, I had to take some summer courses in order to keep up with my major, just finished the finals for that.
Nice.
My parents were just gone. They were in Europe on a vacation. My girlfriend just left, and I just had 5 days of like nothing to do. If like, and this was also 5 days right before I moved up to my new college that I'm currently at right now. So I had 5 days where I was just researching NFTs because I just sort of caught my interest. I just kept seeing it over and over again. Heard Gary Vee kept talking about it, and I was like, people keep saying it's going to go away. I've been following it for a while, but it just keeps popping back up in my feed. So I decided to do my research. And then actually within those 5 days, I did the research and created the first 25 artworks and auctioned them off for Paragon artwork. And actually sold out my first Gen Zero collection in one day, within a single day. So that's basically how Paragon art started. Now we're transitioning more into an actual studio, and that's where I have the plans for the future.
Nice. Cool. With the name Paragon Art, where did that come from? Is that like it's something you've always liked the name? Honestly, first thing I thought it was Patagonia. You know what I mean? But where did that come from?
Well, the actual definition of Paragon is something of the highest quality or of a particular quality. That's why you might have seen the little slogan of particular quality, because coming into this, when I did my research, I really wanted to invest in this because I saw an opportunity that branched into what it is now. There was just so much opportunity, like life-changing opportunity in it. So I really wanted to bring the finest quality. And this was even before we started seeing all these PFP projects, and I still felt like the community had too many of those, and we weren't seeing a lot of different types of art. And I'm really
real artwork, I guess.
Yeah, real stuff you would see in museums, abstract art, physical style artwork on the NFTs, which I sort of see that's where the future is going to be. So that's sort of the style I wanted to bring. So within those 5 days, I really focused on creating quality stuff, and that's why I only came out with 25. I didn't want to do a big project or anything like that. This whole thing about Paragon is maintaining a high minimum, a really high standard. I just feel like because stuff, even Ethereum, there's a few projects that are just known for maintaining a high minimum, and you can always expect quality out of them, and that's just one place collectors like to go because it's always just quality art. It's not even regulated. It just has a minimum standard. They're gonna hold it, and that's what I really wanted to have behind Paragon.
Cool. Nice. How many How many different artists are there as of now? Were you the very first artist that I guess you made all of them, or how many artists do you have as of now?
So yeah, the whole first Gen Zero and Gen One collection were all my artwork personally, and then a few of the artworks after that. Uh, the latest one I released was right before I actually launched the studio. But now we actually have 5 different artists and more coming as well. And basically, the goal of Paragon Art Studio is to actually help people that I see in the everyday world who just who are amazing artists, but just have no really technology background or crypto background. And I'm sort of like the bridge for them into the crypto world and the NFT world. Like you guys might see on there that one actually, the one you just pulled up, that is actually done by a girl named Madeline Clark. She's actually my one of my girlfriend's friends, and that's how I met her. I actually got referred, and she's always been doing artwork like this and just been posting it. And she hadn't sold any of her artwork really, like at all. And I thought this type of quality would be top tier on Solana as of right now.
Right.
I just think it would be rivaling that. So I'm basically helping her. All she has to do is send me her artwork, and I'm basically doing all the marketing, all the digitalization, all the crypto transfers, and all that. And I just pay her out like a real business would,
Right.
to like a real art studio would to an artist. So I'm like sort of trying to create like the real first art studio in the NFT community is sort of what I'm going for here.
Nice. Have I guess you've always been in I guess what an artist like you creative like in that or how long you
Actually,
been creating for?
I haven't been like art. I've always loved art and I've always been in art. I haven't been creating art for super long. And the reason behind that was I always felt like when I did art, I wasn't the best like drawing. I was never really great at drawing. But that's sort of like how my first collection is a combination of like digital art as well as code, generative code.
Okay.
Uh, that so it's sort of like a mix that allowed me to still express my creativity, um, but also created something unique and something that people would actually like. That being said, I've always been someone who's been very creative in the like technology business world. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've done, multiple projects. I actually am involved in a other startup right now as well. So a lot of things on my plate, but I'm really focusing a lot of my time on Paragon. So I really hope this takes off and this is something I can actually make into something that I solely focus on. But yeah, I've been really creative in that aspect. But with the drawing aspect, I'm practicing every single day, just trying to get better. And so that's why I also like being able to promote these other artists and give them an opportunity on my established platform that I was lucky to be able to create.
Nice. When did you know? I guess you wanted to try and like create the NFT. Like, what was the thought process behind it for some of the like the artists that are coming in and they're like, I'm thinking about it. I want to do it. Um, what are
Do
the
it.
steps behind on getting it in place? You know what I mean? Like what are the
Oh,
steps?
okay. Yeah. So for me, it was really weird because I actually launched really early, like right after Thugbird's launched is actually when I launched. So it was a really early time in the community. That's also when Holoplex just came out. So my whole Gen Zero auction was actually on like one of the first versions of Holoplex that took like forever to load. You know, everything you had to be like on to place one bid. You had to basically be on the website for half an hour to 45 minutes. Like it was
For
ridiculous.
it.
But nowadays it is so much better and it's so accessible. So I think if you are thinking about if you're an artist, you should be creating NFTs, I feel like. And if you're not an artist, but you like the idea of being able to express creativity or even utility through NFTs, I do think that is something you should look into. That being said, I don't think it's something you should rush into. Like we've had a lot of recent stuff where we just have a flood of projects that are just not even bad projects, but just sort of half-assed or just not up to sort of the standard of any NFTs really in the community that are established.
Yeah.
So definitely one way to have a successful launch is do your research. I mean, just do your research, know what you want to launch. And what I really preach is I try to get the reason why my announcements are always delayed and always take so long to do is because I like to finish something before I put it out there. I like to have it set. I like to, so I have proof. Like, this is what I'm putting out. You can use it now. Like, of course, I like to put out the plans and what I'm planning, what I'm doing behind the scenes. But like when I make the big announcement of something, make sure you're actually able to provide that. If you're not able to, then don't feel rushed. Like dropping 10 pieces before the collection as of an early collector's collection, that's something that could be possible and something that could be achieved through Holoplex, even if you're doing a larger drop, such as a 5,000 collection. I just think rushing into that stuff and then trying to fix all the mistakes afterwards is something that's really tripping up the community.
I got to question you if you can't answer it. For the people that are listening in, doesn't matter if it's now, later, really whenever, and their artists are thinking about it. I guess what would be the what was it here? The Holoplex. I guess what is that? Is that how it's sold? Is that how it's written on? Or I guess how would you explain that to a regular artist that doesn't know? Do you know how to honestly do that one? Because I don't know how to do it.
So yeah, so that's a little weird because that's sort of, especially right now with all this recent news of it being a little pricier than usual.
Gotcha.
With the AR weave and the updates coming to that. So I do feel like within these next few days, when all that gets sorted out, because I believe it'll get sorted out pretty quickly, that it'll be pretty easy for artists to do. So I just think the biggest thing is, like I said, research. So asking for help and even just going into their Discord. They have tons of videos showing you the exact process. So you'll just have to know you'll need AR weave, and then you'll need some Solana and then a Phantom wallet, and that's really what should get you started there, as well as your images, of course. And then you don't really need much to start, just to mint. It is like even the pricier version is really not that much, especially if, like for me, my thought going into it was I was willing to pay that much because I believe I was gonna output way more through that NFT than what it was worth. So that $1.26 to mint it was worth that one piece of the first collection because I knew what I was going to do with it. So I just feel like watching the videos, making sure you do it right, and of course asking for help. I know a lot of people in the community, as well as I am always willing to help if you have a question about Holoplex, stuff like that. I'm constantly reaching out to their team so I can help ask your questions, get them there a little quicker as well, because I always have questions and I'm learning every single day as well. So that's why I'm sort of looking to also help create like maybe even some Medium articles, just stuff like that, just lay out the process for people because with all the rugs and stuff recently as well, I just feel like we're falling into the trap of it's happening over and over again with the projects that look the exact same. So it's more of just a general knowledge that needs to be established of like how to check and like how to be safe, which I think is coming along really well. Everyone in the community starting all this stuff, and I'm seeing a lot more with that. So I'm loving that, and I definitely think that is the best way to start helping new artists get into this scene.
No, 100%. Where would you want to see? I mean, Paragon NFTs and of course, everything can be changed because crypto's so quick and everything. But where do you want to see your project in the next like 3 or 4 months?
I've been working on this. I barely sleep anymore. This is all I think about. I feel like that's the same for everyone in this crypto community, and NFT community. But really, what I'm planning with Paragon is turning it into like a real art studio, with its main focus being around NFTs, but also integrating a physical, real purpose as well. So a lot of my artists are actually physical artists as well. Most of what you see was actually done on canvas or on paper, stuff like that. A lot of that is
Nice.
actually physical. And a newer artist that is going to be announced soon does some amazing physical art. Um, that honestly, I might just sell tokens to redeem for the physical art, or you can use the NFT to redeem for the physical art because it's just too good, like not to have in person.
Right.
But the plan for the next 3 to 4 months is sort of just promote my artist. Really, I want to help them get out there because when they do well, honestly, I do well. It helps me. So it's really a win-win situation for us. So heavy on the marketing, but we're also having plans with like actual pop-ups. I know a few artists in San Diego, so I might plan a art pop-up. I have a few of my artists down there, and maybe invite some artists in the community come by and set up something. So you can actually check out physical art as well as their NFTs. And then pop-ups, merch, the physical art, and then hopefully here in the near future, I'm actually working on a marketplace for the Paragon artist to have all their stuff displayed, but as well as sort of incorporate into the community. I'm gonna have down the road like a to vote a community artist to have a special auction on a certain page on the site. So it just helps promote one of one artist, and it sort of gives that community artist a high minimum, so that one artwork, can really get them out there, really get some exposure to their other art.
Nice. With I'm gonna another question you might be able to answer, and you might know from like the friends stuff like that. Um, what are your friends like the artist friends like thoughts when they come into the crypto space? Like, are a lot of them liking it because it's new, and then are they excited to be in the space? Because when you were saying like the basically the physical stuff, I was thinking like honestly, like people with NFTs who are just not getting into the game, they probably would like actually enjoy actual art. It's probably getting people to more in tune with art. So what are like on the artist side? What are y'all's thoughts? You know what I mean? Do you see it the same way, or how do y'all see it that way?
Well, yeah, that's sort of why I'm pushing for this. I sort of see from an artist perspective, and from what I've been talking to with my artists, is this is and that's sort of why I partnered with them, and sort of was just able to help them out, was because they don't fully understand the NFT crypto world, and that's something I'm able to do, and I'm constantly in. So what's really cool is they are really informative about me with about all the real art. I'm learning so much about physical art and real art and life, and just how that type of market works as well. And so just being able to be their side of the digital side, and just have them be able to still express their art through the physical side as well, and just be able to co-market it. Not really have, because right now it sort of seems like people are comparing it instead of sort of just thinking it as it's art. It's sort of under, it falls at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it still falls under the same category. So I just feel like the push here for Paragon is more co-marketing, both physical and NFT art, instead of just picking a side and trying to go with that.
And you
So
guys are
my
probably
artists are.
gonna. Sorry, I was gonna just say you guys are probably gonna make it long term because of that, because a lot of people aren't integrating that IRL stuff into their NFT projects. So
And yeah, I just feel like it's also just a good way to connect, especially with the pandemic and everything we had. And I know like stuff is loosening up, and hopefully in the future it even gets better as well. But just I feel like we did connect over the internet, but we also lost out a lot of inhuman connections, and sort of became even more dependent than we already were on the internet. So yes, I'm all hands down on the internet. That's the future, man. Web3, everything like that, is the future. But also, I think there's one thing you can't beat, that's physical, and that's like personal connection. It's just in real life talking to someone, and just the physical art as well is something you can't really rival.
I think as long as humans are around, I think we'll value holding things in our hands and being possessive over actual, tangible things. Um, and I like NFTs because they make communities, and they find little niche communities that people get to join and be a part of, but I think the IRL thing is something that's going to take it long term, because people like to hold stuff in their hands and be like, "Yo, check this out." Also, it's got a counterpart on the blockchain. You can also check that out too, stuff like that. I think that's really neat.
And yeah, and so like the things for like the pop-ups as well as what I'm planning is this is something I really want to do. Is just like not even like these big events people are planning. I'd like even just small artist pop-ups that people can come through, hang out, show their art, and just so like stuff like that, as well as NFTs every single day are getting more and more into the physical world. Like I know like Omnisoul, he does like the visual effects and stuff with for some of these NFT things. So I think that's like really cool, as well as like the VR stuff as well. So just I think a lot of this integration um, will come into the physical world as well. So I feel like I'm planning on the future of them being meshing together more than rivaling each other, which I think should be a long-term goal for any project really coming into this space.
Man, I like it. I was looking when they were talking about like the physical art and everything like that. Money is you can't see it fully right now, but with his the thug bird on there with the on the canvas, and it's something that I'm gonna be doing here soon as well, because it's one of those things that it's a tangible thing. Granted, he didn't get that from the thug birds, nothing like that. He did it himself. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, like I'll be doing the same thing. You're probably gonna be mad at me. I got a bear, you know what I mean? I still got one of those bears, and I might do the same thing because it's one of those tangible things. And you know what? Hey, it's a story behind it. You know what I mean?
That was my first NFT. Was there.
Hey, that was my second one. Listen, I got first one was a thug, second was the bear, and I do have a soul as well. But I had honestly y'all heard it on the past podcast. The pocketbook is like a noob, so I'm not in everything like Twitter world. I see everything. I'm like, good lordy mercy, but.
Yeah.
I like the art because like even your stuff, man, and like your artists and everything like that. It's not just a picture stuff like that. It's good artwork. You know what I mean? It's not just
Mhm.
not to knock.
And
pictures
that's
or
sort of the
anything like that, but
minimum
it's
is
nice.
something if I like people are asking if they can like apply or if I'm still looking for artists. I'm always looking for artists. I
Yeah, how
always
can
want to
people
help
find you?
people in the community. I mean, DM me, tag me, all that stuff. I'm constantly on Instagram. I'm constantly, even if I'm not, I have a lot of stuff going on, but I will get to you. Trust me. Make sure you DM me. Make sure you retweet me. If you have to bother me, do it. I always retweet art when I see it as well, stuff like that. Yeah. So
Nice.
shit, I just lost my train of thought. Where was it? Oh, yes. What you were saying is like the print on the wall is what I'm sort of planning on the future is too. Is like it's going to be really cool when artists do go solely NFTs and only create digital artwork, or if like we might see a transition from NFT artists going to physical art, or even physical artists going to strictly NFT art.
Yeah.
What I think is cool is that you can have an NFT and still prove ownership of it, and like hold it in your ledger and everything. But then you can also make a canvas of it and have something physical to show and be
Mhm.
like, that is still a 101. That is something I own, like both physically and digitally. So it would just be like, I sort of like how you can create an NFT and sort of just own it as well. It's a physical representation of it.
Another question I just had just thinking about it. Are there like certain dimensions that your art is like? Say if someone wanted to print it out, like in general, you know what I mean? Are there certain dimensions, stuff like that? Because I know some people have the big ones, small ones, just regular size. Um, like, did you ever think about something like that, or is it just like a standard size for the most part?
So yeah, that's
Which else frame?
something I'm experimenting with right now, and something I'm learning about every single day, trying to figure out more. Because when you actually start moving into the physical world, almost every different type of medium requires a different type of resolution, like DPI and stuff like that. To because when I get these like made, I want them to look like I want them to pop.
Crispy,
Like I
yeah.
want them to be really high quality. So it's like you have to get like the perfect DPI and the perfect settings in order to really make it pop. That being said, it's more accessible and there's tools out there to be able to resize stuff without losing quality and all that. Now they are some like paid tools and all that, but I've been experimenting with that, as well as just some of the artists have been sort of learning what, like, because some of them we're like getting more of them onto digital as well, just to like have them try it out and see if they like it, because sort of, expand their artistic abilities, as well as this Procreate just has everything they could need. They don't have to pay for all like this stuff anymore. It's a lot cheaper. So
That's a
having them
crazy
be able to,
program, eh?
exactly. So being able to do both, I think is just best of both worlds. If they don't want to do it, so what? Like it's, but I just think giving them, and so they're starting to learn like, oh, I need to set it at minimum this DPI, and if this is going to be canvas or this is going to be postered, I want it at this resolution and all that. So that's something I'm learning about every single day, and honestly need to learn more about. And I'm just honestly, I'm ordering stuff right now and testing. So one of my main promises to my Gen Zero holders was I'm gonna find them a way to get a physical representation of their artwork. Whether that be I ship it to them, or if they're way out of the way and it's just gonna be a hassle, just send them the funds so they can go to a local place and get it made. Because I want them to all be able to have a physical representation. But it's just been taking a while because I just have random boxes and artwork that's like cropped weirdly and all that, just resolutions of like these small canvases and posters, just trying to figure out the perfect one that keeps the quality, but as well as, just represents it perfectly physically.
Nice. Last couple questions because we're getting to the 30-minute mark. As just you personally, when you sold everything out, you know what I mean? When I guess the auctions and everything, what type of feeling was that? Because I haven't made an NFT anything like that, but I think it would be honestly a surreal feeling knowing that, hey, one, people like the stuff, two, people are enjoying it, and three, like you said, people will have it hanging on a wall, you know what I mean, stuff like that. What was your mindset when you saw it was boom, completed, everything sold out?
I couldn't even like speak. Like it was so, because to me that was something I was doing purely out of my curiosity, out of just my creative curiosity, and just releasing it for the hell of it. I didn't think anything of it. So if anything, I was more focused on, oh, I was gonna be an NFT flipper. Like there's a lot of potential in this flipping stuff. But I was like, why not just create one and put something out there? Just because I was curious. And so when it sold out, especially for the amount it did sell at, I was just shocked. And honestly, it's life changing.
I told you, Mom. I told you. Let's go.
That's the thing is, like I said, they were actually on vacation, so they weren't even home. So they didn't know about it until the day they got, because it sold out the day before they got back. So the morning they got back, I like woke up and I like had to like tell them, and I like didn't know how. I was just like, I don't know how to explain how I did this in like 5 days while they were gone.
But we're going on another vacation.
And that I need help, like.
And I need help.
Or just advice. Because one lucky thing is my mom is an accountant, so.
Oh, perfect.
God, exactly. Just so I was just like, I need advice, I need help. I'm not.
That's beautiful,
until
man.
I get
Fuck
help.
yeah.
What not to ask like financial question, but like as someone who, like you said, there had been a lot of, I guess, soul money, stuff like that. Where and it might be, I mean, shoot, if your mom's in financial stuff, you probably already know like smart questions in the back of your head, like, all right, do I do this, do I do that? But what were some like honestly questions right off top? You were like, shit, what do I need to do? Like, what were your
so
questions,
like my panic thoughts.
Yeah.
So when it first happened, I didn't even have a ledger. I bought a ledger instant. No second thoughts. I've never clicked the buy button faster. But then I went to my Coinbase account because that's where I really had everything mostly set up, and that's where I was getting my crypto beforehand, and like had my long group term holds was in the vaults in Coinbase. And I had my two-factor authentication. So my first goal was to get the soul in the safest place possible before I do anything with it. So I feel like, especially for any artist, that should be your number one priority: is secure the soul to the point where it's almost annoying to move it.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's like your main project fund, like it needs to go through an email, a text. Like you have to go get the vault out. Like make
Yep.
sure you're really protecting that stuff because that's really important. Uh, just how to keep your project alive as well. A lot of these projects lose almost everything, and I mean, we have such an amazing community that we're able to help bring it back and reignite it. But I mean, imagine what they could have done if they had all of that. So number one is definitely secure it, and then as well as I know it's like a big thing that Sol is just Sol. I don't know the Sol price. I've never looked at a chart before. I'm holding Sol till it's on the moon, stuff like that. Um, but one thing I did have to tell myself is like I did that. That is something I. This is life changing money. I could really set myself up with this. So yes, I allocated a portion. This is what I'm gonna put back into Paragon. This is what I'm gonna put it. That's just took that portion, put it back, and then instantly it didn't care what price Soul was at. Took that money and just put it in my bank account.
Profit. Yeah.
Because once it hits your bank account, it's really more accessible to the real world, and that's really where it
Dude,
becomes
that's
life
when it
changing.
hits.
Yeah, like
That's
if
when it
you
hits.
really
I
get the
remember I had like
feeling
30,
till it,
40K in Solana, and I was like, yeah, whatever, it's cool and all that. And then I transferred it into my bank account, and I was like,
Like, holy
whoa,
shit.
like
whoa,
you
okay.
ASAP,
Like,
you're like, what the? You're like, it's just
yeah,
like
it
I
hits
went
different when it's on the bank account app, man.
yeah,
I can't explain it, you know.
exactly. So just I feel like it's a big thing. Yes, you should invest back in the community because that's how you're gonna grow. But you should also invest back in yourself.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
if you can set yourself up, that only gives you more opportunities in order to work on your project
Mhm.
and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about real life stuff that you had to beforehand.
Hmm.
So it just gives you a little more financial freedom to also experiment and get creative. That's sort of where I see a lot of the innovation thrive is when sort of people get a little capital, someone invests in them, believes in them just enough um, to let them innovate, to do something different that no one has
Yeah.
done before, that just costs a little more, or you just have to go a little out of the way to do it. So definitely invest in the community, but also make sure you invest in yourself.
Nice. Last question. Were your parents did they believe in crypto and all this stuff before that? And if not,
My
are they
mom
believers
thought it was a
now?
scam, and my dad's a nerd, so he understood fully.
There you go. Your dad's
Oh
giving me a high
shit.
five. Your
At
mom's
least
like,
you
It's
had
what
one
really
the?
funny.
parent that was like that's gonna make it.
Yeah, so my dad was like, he's like, it took him a second to process it. Like it even took me like a few days just to process it. But
Yeah,
like he
man.
understood. My mom was like, this is a scam. And I was like, okay.
It's like, all right, mom, I love you. That's
So that
awesome,
was really
man.
funny to come, just have like the two opposite sides of each other.
Um, on that one, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. For people
Awesome.
who missed the very beginning of it, where can they find you at? Shout out your Twitter and where people can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at Paragon NFT, here Paragon Art Studio. Um, like I said, if you guys are an artist looking to come up, feel free to send me art. I'm always looking at art, always looking to expand. As well as if you have any questions, need help, one easier page to reach me at is X Virtual SD. That one's a little less crowded in the DMs, more personal page. So if you do have like a quick question you just need help with, I've been helping people out there. So feel free to ask. Remember, don't rush anything. Always get help beforehand. If I'm not around, I can always refer you to someone who does know, or there's tons of people in the community who'll be able to help out as well. And then one thing before I do go, make sure you guys do join the new Discord. My first one, sadly, when I did launch, was also the time where all the bots came. I think you guys remember that, where all the Discords were just
Going
filled with the
crazy.
bots.
Yeah.
Sadly, killed my Discord, and I wasn't able to recover it. Luckily, my new DAO Discord is going great, so we've moved everything there. So make sure you guys do join there. It has both public and DAO sections of it, so it's all in one now. Um, Other than that, look forward to more Paragon art coming. We have a lot of crazy art coming, especially from Samantha, Madeline, Jun Hao. A lot of them have some cool stuff coming, as well as some physical integration coming as well. So I wouldn't sleep on these initial pieces, guys. But other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for having me on here. It's great to meet you guys. Great to have a little chat even beforehand, hang out a little bit. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. It was awesome chopping it up. Definitely have you on in a couple months when we have all the other projects back on.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Hey,
You too, man.
likewise. You have a good one, and thank you again for coming in and taking some time out of your evening. So, congrats again,
course.
and we'll talk soon. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
You have a good one.